So welcome back, tech stalkers. I know it has been a long time since I posted my last video, but I had a lot of things to do. I was a little busy, but today I came back with a video on MIT App Inventor. Just a quick head start on how to use the app and the main features of developing an app using this website. So let's get into it. So first of all, you click on My Projects and the projects like up, and then you choose Create a New Project, and then you name your project. So when you come to name your project, it should not have any spaces. So for example, I wrote YouTube underscore tutorial and then click OK. And then you want to click on your projects. It takes you to this screen, which is a blank screen, and you can add as many screens as you want just by clicking on this add screen button, and then you get to name your screen, for example a login, and this is for the adding the screen. But here on the left is the palette. These are the palettes. For example, user interface has buttons, images, labels. Those are mainly the main things that we will need in this tutorial. Also, web viewers are useful. Here we have the layouts. If you want to have a horizontal one or a vertical one, those are one of the main layouts you'll use. We have media, and also we got connectivity, which will enable you to connect to Bluetooth devices and so on. We also got storage like cloud storage if we want to store some data. A useful palette is also the sensor palette. Mainly you will use the clock element, but again label, button, and text box are one of the ones that we will use a lot. So here I added a label. I will use this label as my heading. So as you can see, I wrote heading, I changed the font size, I italicized it, and then I made it bold. Now I want to make it centralized, so I will click on the screen and change this from left to center. Okay, so now I have my heading in the center of the screen. There are more things that I can do, like changing the font. So here I'm changing the font. You have limited options, but that's okay, because after all it's a website that enable you to make apps easily. It's block code, not text code, but still okay. So as you can see here, I get to have a color picker in which I'll pick my color and customize it, the color of my text, and customize it. So yeah, I created a heading. Now I will add a button. Let's say that our app will consist of 2 buttons or 2 additional pages. So for example, this button could be for a login page, or let's say a calculator page. Yeah, and then I want to insert another button for a buy page. Okay, so as you can see, when I drag them and drop them, they are automatically in vertical layout. So what if I want to make them side by side? I will go to the layout and change horizontal arrangement and drag and drop. I will take my calculator button, put it in this horizontal arrangement, and then I will go back to the button and drag and drop. So now I get to name my second button that is horizontally aligned with my first one. So this is my 2 buttons, button 1 calculator and button 2 buy page. So I also can edit buttons, and for example, the calculator button, let me customize it to be okay. So I can change the height and the width, and I can make a picture a button. So I can replace this text button with a picture, and it is a button. And now let me change the height and width of this calculator image. Let's say I want this calculator button to be sorry, I said image, I meant button, to be 130 pixels. And let me change the width to about same 120 to 150. Okay, so I can change this by page to the same height, but the same of the calculator button, but leave the width. Now I can change the colors of the buttons and the text on them as well. So I change this to like a pink color, and then I change the text to white. And I can also have the same properties on button texts, like italicizing it, changing the fonts and the colors, making it bold, and customizing the color of the font. Again, I'm changing here the color of the buttons. So I chose the first one to be orange, and the second one, I'm not sure yet, maybe green. Actually, you can customize colors by adding hexadecimal codes as well, not just by the color picker. So let me italicize this, maybe change the font. Looks good to me. Again, this is not scale, it's just, a tutorial, give you a head start. Now I drag and drop an image. I will upload a file from my desktop, which will be the image that I want. Let's say again, my desktop screen is not showing, but you will see the image. So this image is too big. I think I'm going to change it. Again, you can change the width and the height of the image, but personally I don't prefer this, so I changed it to none again. So if you want to put an image and you're not sure about the size, it's better to use a layout element and then place the image inside. This is not our topic. I'll upload another image. You can skip this part. So I finally chose this bulb image. I don't know, I just thought it is expressive. So I chose an image that has a small size, so I don't have to resize it. Now I'm gonna try to change the background color of the phone, or of the app background on the phone. You can also pick an image as a background. This is also an option. So I'm going for a gradient of colors here. And again, these colors, even if they don't match together, they're just, not scale. Now let's create our second page, which is the calculator page. And now, as I said, when making a new screen or naming a new screen, you do not get to leave spaces like calculator 1 or 2. you have to add an underscore when you're trying to name it, but you want to leave a space between the two words. Now I created my calculator page. It's gonna take like 5 seconds to load. So this is my new page, and let's see what we're gonna do with it. So we can change the color of the background. Let's go for green. Alright, let's pick a label element, and let's say you cannot edit the label from there. You have to write it in this box. So let's just type calculator. Let's just be simple, okay? Now I'm gonna customize the font and like edit this label. Now again, we click on the screen, choose center, and I don't really like the color green in the background. Gives me a headache. Let's try to change something lighter, maybe a purple. So I don't think purple is okay either, so I'm just gonna leave it as white. So now we go back to our label. So I changed the font to 30. What else should we do? Okay, I changed the font style, and now let's get into the layout. Now in this page I'm gonna use a vertical layout, so it will show me the elements vertically. Now I think I will get a label and ask the user to enter a number. So I will change this, insert a why insert, let's say enter a number. That's easier, simpler. Okay, so enter a number, and then we get to put a text box. A text box will enable the user to enter data. Okay, so this is used for input. Okay, now we click Control and select the elements, Control C, Control V to copy and paste. We can rearrange it, it's flexible. As you can see, this vertical arrangement showing me the elements in a vertical way or a vertical layout. So now that we asked the user to enter two numbers, let's say that the user now has two options, to add and to multiply. So I inserted two buttons, one for addition. As you can see, I clicked on the layout and changed the alignment to center. So we have add and multiply. Okay, now what we need is another label that will show me the answer. So this label is going to be empty initially, but once we call the function add or multiply, this label will display the answer. Alright, so now let's jump into the blocks section to provide some functionality. But first, let's do the programming or the blocks for the screen one. So when we click on button 1 and drag and drop this function, and the controls to drag and drop open another screen with the screen name, I change it to calculator. So when button 1 is clicked, we will change the screen to the calculator screen. Now we duplicate it. When button 2, which is bye-bye or bye page, we're gonna change it. So initially I'm gonna leave it as screen 1, but we will create another screen that is called by. So now let's go back to calculator. Okay, so we should memorize the names of the elements. For example, here I should know that the first text field is text box 1 and the second is text box 2. Okay, so I know that button 2 is for addition, button 1 for multiplication. If you're not sure, go hover on it or click on it and it will show you the element name. Now we click on button 2. When button 2 is clicked, what we want to do is, first of all, we should know that we can get a variable. We can name a variable. Actually, we can create a variable. So my variable is going to be answer, and this answer is going to be a number. So I'll pick the number 0. So I will initially set it to 0. Okay, and then what will happen is I'm gonna click on text box 1 because it's the first input, and I'm gonna search for text box dot text. So take a moment and look carefully. So let's see, text box 1 dot text, and then we're gonna take the other text box text, so text box 1 and text box 2. What we will do is, once button 2 is clicked, we will set the answer variable to, and now we go to the math. We take the addition operation and we drop the value from text box 1 and text box 2. So now when button 2 is clicked, the answer value will be the value entered in text box 1 plus the value entered in text box 2. Now we want to set this label that we put for an answer to our answer variable. So we set label 4, which is empty, to display the total, to label 4. So you go and get the global answer. Okay, it's just the answer. Global means every block in the system or in the code recognize this variable. Now we're gonna change from addition to multiplication, and don't forget to change the button name because you cannot have a 2 when button something is clicked, which are the same exactly. It will give you an error. So text box 1 and 2, text box 2 for clicking button 1, which refers to multiplication. Okay, so now we still have the by page. So we add the screen, name it by. It will take a few seconds to load, so hang on there. Alright, so now I'm gonna give you an example of a simple screen that does not require coding. So not a button, let's say a label. So I will write in this label by, and I will change the font size to 30. Let's write by. Okay, we want to make it bold and italicized. Now I'm gonna show you a feature. You change the horizontal alignment to center, and you can also change the vertical alignment to center. So this is for left and right, and this is for up and down. See, top, center. You can also put it at the bottom. I actually want to change the font, and yeah, let's change the font size to make it a little bigger. Alright, so this is a page that does not require any coding. Now you connect this app to your phone by clicking connect and then AI companion. And this was our video for today. I hope you learned something. Don't forget the like and the share. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me in the comments. And see you guys.